Welcome to That's My Opinion. I'm your host, Vero Iglesias. We have a very special guest with us, Pina Alvarez Mena. I will give an intro and like a bit of background about her in a second, but just so you guys know how the podcast is going to run, we obviously have to start with Salt Lake City. Like, there is no world that Salt Lake City isn't going to take the majority of this episode because it fucking deserves it. I mean, that finale was one of the craziest episodes of Real Housewives I have ever seen. Then we're going to get into Beverly Hills, the whole Dorit Garcelle issue, what's going on there. I don't even understand really, but it's kind of frustrating to watch at times. Then we'll get into Miami. That Mother's Day brunch was everything and more. And then Peanut doesn't watch Southern Charm, but I obviously have to discuss the finale. So I'll discuss the finale a little bit at the end of the episode. And yeah, I'm ready. So let's get into it. Okay, Peanut, tell
Hello.
tell us what your relationship is with Bravo. Like, are you a Bravo girly, diehard? What's your vibe?
Okay, so I have been watching Bravo, started with The Housewives since they first came out. So I've been watching it since 2008? So I was diehard New Jersey. Like I was a Teresa girl. I went to her book signing in South Beach and she
No.
wrote, this was right after my sister had had a breast reduction. So we went to the Books and Books in South Beach and she wrote to Mackie and her bubbies in the book. And I still have it somewhere. And it
Can
is
you
one
take
of
a
my most
picture?
prized possessions.
Can you please take a picture of
I'll
that so
find it and I
I
will
can
take a
post it?
picture because it's amazing. Mind you, we were like, I don't know, 16, 17.
No, that is so fucking fun.
So, love Teresa. I kind of fell off the bandwagon with New Jersey. I'm going to be honest, but I still love Teresa. I know that she has heat and the whole, prison thing, but she's just, tried and true to my heart. So, that's where I started. And then since then, Beverly Hills also was an OG.
Mm,
Orange County, I was an OG, kind of fell off the bandwagon with that one.
mm.
But, I'm just a Bravo girly. I love Andy Cohen. I love what he has done for us. I think he has changed the game of reality TV. I mean, and I love it because, you see like the selling sunsets of the world and like the hills, and that used to be what reality TV used to be. And I feel like the producers on it would be really like malicious and sneaky. And Andy doesn't do that. I
No.
think Andy just has a knack for finding amazing characters. The casting's amazing, putting it together, and they don't even have to stir up drama. The drama happens itself, which
Oh,
is why I love it because I don't think it's contrived. I like to believe that it's, the majority is real.
okay. So you're an actress, and I want to hear your
Yes.
perspective on reality TV as someone who, acts for a living and
Yeah.
is in kind of that world. And I feel like I tend to not watch scripted shows because I prefer reality TV. That is very much looked down upon by society. But I just
Mhm.
like to hear like your take on it as someone who's in
I
TV.
love reality TV. And I feel like because I act, sometimes when I'm watching scripted TV, I'm like, oh, like analyzing their performance, or I'm like analyzing just the script or like the actors, and like not even like in a judgy way. I'm like trying to be like, oh, like I like what she's doing. Like, let me see how I can like take that and work it into my craft. But with reality TV, I just like don't think. I just sit, I don't think. I like to live vicariously through them. Like
Mhm.
I just love it. It's like my feel good, guilty pleasure. Like it just makes me happy. I'm like, my favorite thing in the world, you have a bad day, you come home, you eat some ice cream and you watch your housewives. And that's like, there's no better feeling in the world. I love it.
Literally, literally have it. Now, can you tell me who are your top favorite housewives of all time?
Okay. So again, fell off the bandwagon with New Jersey, but Teresa, I just love her. Kyle Richards, I love her. She's, relatable. She's, especially this season, like I feel like we're seeing the most honest version of Kyle. Like I love her. I would want to be her friend. Lisa fucking Rinna. I love that loon. She is loquita and I'm here for it. And I love her. She always provided the tea, always gave the drama. And I feel like we really saw an evolution of her throughout the seasons. I know she's not on anymore, but, I feel like with the whole Munchausen, all that stuff, I feel like she learned her lesson.
Interesting.
I love Lisa Hochstein. Hochstein, no
I
one
don't know.
knows.
No.
No one knows. I love her. Obviously, her and Lenny drama is what brought back Housewives of Miami, and I'm so grateful that it's back because it's better than ever. I
Yeah.
fucking love Muddy Soul. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to just go to a bar with her and get shit-faced. Like, she's hilarious.
She's the best.
Like, how could you not? I love her, and I just love my Miami girls because,
How could we not?
how could we not? I'm biased. So
Wait,
those are my fave.
now, what is your favorite franchise?
Beverly Hills, tried and true, but I'm loving Salt Lake. And we'll get into it. We'll get into it because there's so much tea. But like out the gate with the Jen Shaw stuff, like the characters are so strong. By season 2, we had a felon. Like, it doesn't get better than that. It just
They wasted
doesn't.
no time.
So
Done very well.
I am very happy with Salt Lake and Miami. I was so disappointed the first time around because I was like, being a Miami girl, I was like,
Yeah.
come on, like we can do better. Like this, like there's so much drama here. We can do better. The reboot did not disappoint. They, I am loving it and I'm biased, but I love the little Cubanisms. I love our Cuban girlies. They give some flavor. I love it. They're killing it.
Okay, let's get into Salt Lake. This finale will forever be ingrained in my memory. And I want to get to the thick of it, but we have to just break down the episode. So the whole Heather and Whitney fight, whatever the fuck that was so weird to me and annoying. I'm like, Whitney, like, you're gonna really annoy the viewers. Like, you think you're doing something and you're just not. So I don't
So
understand the like exploiting my sexuality bullshit.
this is the thing with Whitney. I always want to like her, but then something like this happens and I'm like, oh, you're being annoying. But it always happens in like a bar scene when they're drinking. Like whenever
That is
she's
true.
sober, she's likable. She's a little bit more level headed. She's totally a pop star, but like
Definitely.
we're here for it. We need it. We need the
Yeah.
drama.
I love
But whenever she gets a little tequila in her, she starts getting all like confrontational, wants to pick a fight out of nowhere. And I'm like, it's just not interesting. It's not even like good fighting. It's just kind of like, okay, let's move on to the next fight. We know you're going to make up tomorrow morning.
And one of the things that annoys me is her as a pop star because every season needs one, but she will then not own it. She'll be like, "Oh, but she made me do it. Like she gave me this information and she knew what I was gonna do with it, so it's actually her fault." Like that's actually not how it works because you had a decision to make and you made a decision to stir the pot. So like,
Yeah.
own it.
It's all like high and mighty and it's giving a little Lisa Rinna, like the truth is what's needed. We need to get to the truth. And it's like,
No, we don't.
we don't always need to get to the truth. Like no one cares. This isn't really like the big arc of the episode. Like these are just like minor little dramas that we can just skip over.
But she thinks it is the art. Like she thinks she's like nailing it, and we're all watching. Like, okay, let's move on now. Anyways, that their issue I like was not a fan of. Heather seems like very tapped out of their friendship. She
Hmm.
seems like I'm done trying. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna accept your apology. Yeah, whatever, sure. Like even when Whitney was like, "I'm the crazy one, you're the crazy one," she was like, "Yeah, okay, I'm the crazy one." I think she's has lost a lot of fuel in her tank, let's say, when it comes to the
Totally.
relationship.
I think after the fight last season, Heather just like she's like agree to disagree. Like it's kind of sad because they were like I really liked the relationship at first, but I think she was kind of like once you've shown me a different side of you, like that trust has been lost. So she's like, you know what? Like we'll coexist, but like I don't need to be your BFF anymore.
Yeah,
Which is just like, mm,
kind of sad. We'll see how the
yeah.
union goes. And then you have the scene where they go on the mopeds to go shopping. Now, this does not feel important, but it is because I don't know if you saw on Instagram, but there is this theory that when the girls go perfume shopping and Heather forgets her credit card,
Hmm.
which I was in the moment like, that's fucking weird. Like, who goes shopping and forgets their credit card? They're all rich, so like they can handle it, but like a bit off. And then Angie also didn't have it, which I don't think was on purpose. And then Monica was like, hey. Now, I don't know if you noticed in the editing, she used two different cards. The first card did not
Mm-hmm.
go through. The second card allegedly did, and she pretended that it was like an international thing. I don't think it was. I think she just actually was like, "Look, I need to use this other card, and let me pretend it was because I'm broad or whatever." Now, according to some very intelligent fans, there is a theory that Heather was essentially testing Monica to because imagine because you find out that she has all these unpaid beauty lab accounts and hasn't been paying for her fucking filler. She's trying to see, can this credit card go through? Like, can
So do you think that she has credit cards under, like, different names, like, different aliases? Like, what exactly was Heather trying
I think
to
Heather was trying to see if
discover?
she had the finances.
Mhm.
Because it's like, oh, you can pay this $800, but you can't pay back the filler
Mhm.
or whatever it may be, or just try to like test it. And you could even see if you go back and see some of the clips, Heather's like looking around like she's on edge.
She was very
She
sneaky, yeah.
she was very much she wasn't
I
like, "Oh, that's so nice. Thank you so much." She was like, "Oh, I'll pay when we get back." And then was like looking around, like seeing what was happening with her credit card. It was very interesting.
Yeah, it was very sneaky. When you first watched it, I was like, "Monica doesn't have as much money as the other women." So I feel like it was this awkward thing, like, "Oh, I don't know if it's gonna go through, qué pena, like, I don't wanna make her put this on her card." But then after everything unraveled, it does look very, like, calculated and very sneaky that she's kind of like, "Hmm, like, what exactly is going on here?"
Which, by the way, I would do the same thing. If
Totally.
this bitch hasn't been paying my businesses, I'm gonna put her in hot water. And allegedly, I haven't seen this online through Monica, but I have seen in comments and stuff that Monica said that Angie K paid her back, but Heather never did.
Oh, interesting. I mean, honestly, I don't blame Heather after everything. Like, what are you gonna just, like, have this major drama, then send a Venmo? Like, it's so
Last thing,
awkward.
literally last thing I'm doing. I'd be like, yeah, it sucks. You're gonna pay for your shit. And some
Yeah,
people were
also,
like,
like, Monica hasn't paid her for her Beauty Lab stuff, so why should Heather pay her back for, like, a $400 whatever?
no, 0% chance.
Before we get into the drama-rama, how has Meredith not driven in, like, 15 years? We just talk about that.
I love that person.
I know she lived in New York, so I'm like, "Okay, that kinda makes sense." But then now looking back, I'm like, have we never seen her
We've never seen her
in
drive.
a driving scene? I guess
No,
she's always been the passenger.
always
I
fun.
just it was just
Or in
so,
the
like
back seat with a driver.
yeah, it was just so elitist, and I was here for it, and I loved it because it was something that I never noticed, and I was like, "Oh, she would
Yeah,
just always have a
that's
driver. She would not drive herself."
I'm obsessed with it for her. Also, I don't know if you remember earlier in the season, she had that accident that she got into that she made like kind of a
Yes.
big deal. Lisa
Yeah.
Barlow then went on Watch Topic Live and kind of made like a shady comment about it. I think I have more clarity on and more compassion for her. Obviously, like she doesn't drive. So like she already feels like out of control, evidently in the driver's seat. So
Yeah.
it was a little interesting, but it's so funny. I'm obsessed with her. And then that scene of Heather on the phone, with producer Storm and the kid will forever be a highlight of mine.
Amazing.
And I didn't really fully understand who she was talking to. I know she explained it, but I still didn't really like understand it. And I don't understand what information she got that fully validated it. Because according to her story, she said it was her hairstyle that like confessed her sin
Yeah.
and explained, but then she got it verified another way. And I don't know if she gave us details on that. Do you remember?
Well, Tanisha was the hairstylist's
Yeah.
name, I think. I think she
Yeah.
came clean and she was like, "Look, we have been doing this." But I don't know who the other person was that like first tipped her off, but I think it like once it came from Tanisha's mouth, she was like, "Okay, this is it." But I wonder like what question she posed. Like she didn't know out of the gate like this is like you're behind this Instagram account. I just think she knew like something shady was happening. So I wonder like how exactly she got into that? Or do you think she
I
just suspected out the gate, like, she's
no,
in charge
I
of this
don't
Instagram?
no, I don't think she's pressed out of the gate, but I did think she got weary of Monica. I think she
Totally.
was like, DM situation doesn't make sense. Then she outed herself in the beach, being like, I would have a fake account. And I
Mhm.
think since Tanisha is close to Monica, I think she was like, let me see if like I'm just bring up that I think she's being a little weird and shady. And then
Yeah. I wonder what made Tanisha confess because she's throwing herself under the bus too.
Big time.
Like she's not cutting any of those women's hair anymore. She's out of business.
She's done. She's fucking done. I think eventually the guilt does at some point need to take over.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And as a normie, I can understand you're like, oh, these are people we watch on TV, like whatever, we're gonna like poke fun at it. It happens in our city. But then once they actually get to know them, like I imagine once she actually starts to do these women's hair and like actually starts to see them as a regular person, then she's kind of like, oh shit, like they're actually good people. Like now I feel a little bit bad.
Mhm.
But she wasn't the one that totally tried to infiltrate into the group. So even though she's the one that started it, Monica is the one that's at bigger fault because she's the poser who's pretending to be their friend. Like, I don't care if you didn't start the account and just had some involvement. Like, this Tanisha girl is not trying to be a housewife. She's not
No.
pretending to be like your BFFs and going to Bermuda with you guys. Like,
Wild. Celebrating her birthday with you.
yeah. And then looking back when she starts crying, she's like, I've never been treated this nice in my life. Like, thank you, girls.
I talked about it a few episodes ago that I always found it very weird that Monica wanted to be treated the same as the other women. In the sense, for example, they're at dinner and Monica and Meredith have that issue. And then Meredith kind of makes up with Lisa very quickly. And Monica was like, well, I'm just confused, like, why you forgave her so quickly and you're being mean to me. It's like,
Because they've been friends for years. You've been friends for like 4 months.
literally.
Like, it's not the same
Barely.
thing.
No, crazy. So I think she just have this weird, she's twisted, that woman, for sure.
She is, and she has this, like, keeping up with the Joneses complex that she, like, wants to be as wealthy as the women. She wants to be as in society as these women, but yet she, like, pokes fun at them and pokes fun at herself. She's like, "I'm the struggling single mom, like, I'm not as rich as you girls," but yet she wants to be because she's, like, kissing their butt. So it's
No.
this weird, like,
Yeah,
back
it's like,
and
no
forth.
one made you go buy the Louis. No one
Yeah,
made you do that.
yeah.
No one, you didn't have to do it.
Oh my god, I loved that scene. The
Wouldn't care.
crying. I also don't think I've ever related more to a housewife scene like, "If this money should have happened." Like, girl, every other week.
Literally. And then Heather's monologue, her several monologues actually deserve specific recognition. That beach scene where she is teasing the woman, you can tell
Oh my god.
she's prepped out. Where she's like, Monica, it's not who we think she is. She has deceived us. It was just the most incredible monologue. And it had the women on their feet. And then when Lisa like starts crying, she's like, you're gonna cry, I'm gonna cry. And I was like,
I was dying. Also, can we just take a moment to thank the editors of Bravo because they make or break the show and they made it. And they have to sift through hours of footage and they kill it every time. Like
every time. They need
that
a
scene
raise.
couldn't have been better. I hope they're getting paid a shit ton of money because they make the show. It was amazing. Amazing.
Incredible. Incredible. So you have that monologue and you have the women's reaction. People were cracking up about Meredith, being like, this is so fucked up. But honestly, I kind of got it. I understood why she was dramatic. If I'm in that situation and I've let someone in and that person has tried to slander me and tried causing drama and blaming me on things, whatever, but I've also wanted to create some type of relationship with them. And then I find out they're a troll, specifically to
Totally.
me and to all of our friends, I would feel really uneasy. Really,
Totally.
really uneasy.
And we also have to remember this is like the day after the big fight on the boat where everyone was attacking Meredith, saying that she's the troll. So, like, I feel like she probably had some sense of like, first of all, she's still super vulnerable from all that. She's like, this woman has turned all my friends against me that day on the boat.
Yeah.
And like going back to like the Jen Shaw, like in comments about her son's sexuality and all that, like all these women have just had so many trolls like within their friend group before
Yep.
that they had to like combat and you don't know who to trust. So like
Yeah.
I just feel like it was kind of this like weight off her shoulders and just kind of like
Yeah.
like a release of like, I don't know who to trust. This is too much. And
Yeah.
like years of backstory. But I was living for Lisa Barlow's commentary. She's like, I'm crying. You're crying. We're all crying. What's happening? Oh my God.
She's so good. I'm obsessed with her.
I
Also, then
love her.
I did get confused at the dinner scene though, when Heather and Meredith were playing that game and they were talking about the DMs.
Yeah.
And Heather was like, yeah, none of us believe you. Like, you're just going to be like, oh, you're not the one who sent it. Like, They're just
So
being so
I'm
coy about it. And I'm
I'm
like,
still
that
confused too.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
is that apart from like,
yeah,
have we decided that Monica was actually
yeah,
behind all those DMs? So Meredith was innocent in it? Because then we go back and Lisa's like, you did this to me last year. There's so many webs here that like Monica is not the culprit of all of this. There have also been other trolls. So like,
for sure.
do we still think Meredith had some involvement apart from all this? Like,
I
what is
don't
going
think
on?
so because the reason I don't think so is because then Monica had said that she got a DM from them 45 minutes before dinner.
So that was
So
stuff.
I think that that's when they went, "Oh, that's weird." But then I don't know if Heather was still just like playing the part when it came to that dinner scene before they confronted Monica, or that's what she actually believes. I guess maybe we'll get clarity at the reunion.
I feel
But
like she was just probing the conversation because this was clearly like all calculated and they knew that shit was going to go down at dinner. So I
mhm,
think she was like, I'm going to bring this up
mhm.
and then that's going to segue into everything. Also, like, do we think Angie K had no idea or do you think that somebody like clued her in before the dinner?
No, I think she'd know.
She's just sitting there like, what
About
is
it.
going on, guys? No one told me. What the hell?
Did not make the invite. She didn't get the
La
invite.
Pone, she's like, wait, what?
Yeah, no, literally did not make the cut.
Bruh.
Whitney's reaction was interesting to me. At the beach scene, I was expecting more from, and I
Yeah.
don't know if she had like an outer body experience where she's like, "Oh shit, this is gonna make crazy TV," and I'm literally myself so shocked by what's happening,
Yeah.
or it just took her a minute to process. It's funny. She like tries not to make it about her. You see her like struggle in the dinner scene, and then she's like, "Wait, let me make it about all of us," but like it's also really just about me because she's so self centered like that. Um,
What information had been leaked about her on Reality Bunties? I feel like she wasn't like one of like nothing that crazy got leaked about her. So maybe she wasn't as hurt by it as the other
no,
women.
there were some comments about like her sex life and things like that.
Mm,
And I feel
okay.
like so they definitely did cover it. No, that's why, because I remember seeing when they show clips of reality on TV.
Yeah.
I was like, why is it Whitney Ward?
Yeah.
But then now it's interesting when we think about what now we understand what their relationship or lack thereof has been like the last year in particular. But then I know Mary didn't really give a fuck about it because Mary and Monica are still talking from what I hear. And then I think
Mm.
like Meredith and Whitney might have followed Monica on Instagram after the reunion.
Ooh.
So I am intrigued. Okay, but back to the thick of it. So they go to the beach and they go to the dinner, and like Heather's doing her acting
She
regular.
deserves an Oscar. Love it.
She
She nailed it.
nailed it. And once again, another moment. The receipts, the screenshots, the perfect format, everything.
Like, she was in the bathroom looking at herself in the mirror and had like a breakdown. She was like, I'm going to say this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to reveal the black eye. She was like, tonight's the night it goes down.
Tonight. Thank God we finally know. So then she says, "You are reality bunties." Monica's reaction, I'd shit my pants if it was. I would have been like,
She was so like calm and cool and was trying to like deny it for a little bit.
yeah,
And like, but even as shook as I was by all this, like, I really wasn't because Monica has it in her. And we always knew she had it in her, and she was kind of like she says in her promos, which I love, she's like, "Even Gossip Girl couldn't stay Gossip Girl forever." Like, she was just waiting for it to drop. And I think she thought it would take a little bit longer, but she was kind of just like, "Ugh, yeah, the jig's up." Like, she didn't seem to care that much. Like, she was just waiting for it.
and she just left. She just
Yeah.
literally just got her shit and left.
Yeah.
So we get some information at the dinner. We get number one. Monica's been running with other people this Instagram account that was meant to take down Jen Shaw, but the women are called there. We have the fact that Monica has like three different last names, three different accounts at Beauty Lab, and they're unpaid. We have Monica and Meredith's store when the alleged whatever happened.
I forgot that even happened.
And this
That honestly was the
Further-
most like, I was like, oh my God, that happened. And she's been stalking these women ever since like season 1. That's honestly what got me the most. I was like, whoa.
crazy. No, and then the fact that Meredith remembered that Monica had said, "I've never been here before." I
Yeah.
was like, that's fucking nuts. Like
Yeah.
that is crazy.
Mhm.
Crazy.
Even the fact
And
that she had like blonde hair back then, I was like, this lady is like She's legit.
She's
Secret
legit.
spy status. Like she's in it.
Which Lisa Barlow mentioned the first episode with Monica. She said, when I knew her when she was working for Jen, she looked like a completely different woman.
Mhm. Mhm. She
Doesn't
released,
matter.
like, a lot of shit about these women that, like, they and it's this whole, like, weird thing that it's like, "Oh, you sign up to be on reality TV, like, you should be comfortable with, like, anything that goes on in your life being exposed," but it's like, no, there's a line. Like, the way that you present yourself on camera is a certain way, and then there's also like, there's still people at the end of the day, like, there's
Mhm.
still personal shit that they don't want out there in the world, and just because you sign up for a reality TV show doesn't mean that, like, you're entirely an open book. I think, like, you should be allowed to pick and choose what you want to share with the world.
Absolutely. And then, okay, then we have the black eye, which is where
Are we
I lost
surprised?
it.
No.
No, no,
Obviously not. We knew it, but it was just kind of, like,
the
the
pop.
perfect timing to reveal it. But also, was it I think it was Lisa was like, "No." I was like, "Who do you think did it? Who do you think did it?" Obviously.
How do you just get a black eye? No, and then I'm glad she finally said it, but then in her monologue, her like third one of the night, she was like, "You don't understand that we rode for Jen, like we're loyal, like we had
Mhm.
her back so much so that
Mhm.
I took shit for this black eye."
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's where you lose the viewers because we don't want you to have Jen back. Like she's a
True.
criminal. Like
True.
we don't want you to protect her
True.
because she is a piece of shit.
But at the time, they wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt because it wasn't confirmed that she was doing this stuff, even though we all knew. We all knew. But I kind of like it because I think that that's what makes the show that they are like ride or die girls.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's what makes this even more intense because they're like, we have gone to bat to defend people in this friend group and we're not doing it again because they're very like loyal in a sense. Like,
Yeah.
even when they know that somebody is messing up, like, they're still gonna have their backs.
I know, and I get that, but like I think there's a line once again.
Well,
Like
yes, when you're stealing from old people, then, like, ya se acabó, like, you're done.
it's literally done. Like that's where I lose you guys. Like if she's like fucking around on her husband, if she's doing XYZ, whatever, go for it. But like innocent people, innocent old people. Yeah, let's not. But now I cannot wait for the reunion
Mm,
for Heather to explain how
mhm,
she got the black eye. So
mhm, mhm,
we know how she got socked in the face, but
mhm.
why? Like
Yeah,
how does that happen?
yeah.
And then would they bring the scene back of like when Heather woke up with a black eye and she's looking at Jen and Jen's like, we don't know how she got it. We got it.
Jen had the audacity to go and grab Meredith out of her room and be like, "Something happened to Heather." Like, which poor thing, we need to get to the bottom of this. I'm like, "You did it." What?
Crazy. And that's the type of person who steals from old people.
Yeah,
Like
no, she's crazy.
there's our example of why she's fucking crazy.
She's insane.
Fuck Jen Shaw. I'm glad I never want to see her on my screen ever again. Um,
Okay, I have 2 questions.
yes.
1, do we think Monica will be back next season? Like, how is that possible? How are they gonna coexist in this group if she is? 2, do we think the producers knew that she ran this Instagram account? And do we think that that's part of the reason why she was even on this season to begin with? I
Okay,
don't
I'm gonna
know.
answer two first. Two, I'm interested to see like what other people think about this. My personal opinion is that producers did not know. I
Mhm.
think they brought her on because she exposed Jen Shaw and she was
Yeah.
Jen Shaw's assistant. And so she had some type of relationship with a woman. And I think with Jen Shaw leaving so abruptly and not like they're really never going to have her back, they still wanted some type of Jen Shaw storyline and some
Mhm.
type of vindication. Like, yeah, fuck Jen Shaw. And like,
Mhm.
let's get tea on Jen Shaw and let's expose Jen Shaw. I personally do not think producers would ever want to bring in someone who is capable of posing so much because that's a risk. It's a risk for them as a show. Obviously, there's
Totally.
NDAs and things like that, but like there's only so much protection legal can give them. And I don't think they want someone who's capable of doing those things. Now, brings me to the first question, which is Monica going to come back next season? Personally, I don't think it's possible. And I'll tell you why. This is very different than any other housewife situation we've had before, where we're like, is she going to come? Like Lisa Rinna who caused all this shit, or like whatever other drama that happens where it's like women go below the belt. each other. Is she gonna come back because people really aren't fucking with her? Or Erica Jane having, like, these legal
Mhm.
issues that were like, is she in too much trouble to come back? I think all of that is very different than what we're experiencing now. What we're experiencing now is a woman who is not meant to be in the same group as these women. She is a fan for all intents and purposes, and a
Mhm.
fan that is a dangerous fan. And they never had a relationship with her because all
Yeah.
of that was based on lying. Any ounce of their relationship is a lie. So, where I don't think it's possible is that there's no relationship to repair there. They're never
Yeah.
going to be close to a woman who they know is going to expose them at any second. It's just not feasible. And I don't think Bravo or producers win by having that type of woman on. I just don't think so.
Yeah, and then we just go into, like, recurring drama and the same story again and again and again, which is just not enjoyable as a viewer to watch. I also don't know how the other woman would agree to even be fake friends with her. Like, I think they were all pretty adamant about, "You're done, we're not gonna sit at a table with you again." So I just don't know how it would work. I think
I
that
don't think it would.
yeah, I think that they're gonna have to kick her off. We'll definitely not hear the end of this, like, we'll hear about her till the end of time, but she didn't fit the bill to begin with. Like, she doesn't come from as much money. She provided the drama before all I mean, clearly she did with the
Sure.
final episode, but before with her mom and everything, like, she gave us tea, but I was always kind of curious, like, why she doesn't really fit into this group of women to begin with.
No, I've said that before. I was like, I think she's really good for reality TV, just not Housewives.
Yeah,
She doesn't fit
agreed. She
Housewives.
needs a spin-off of some sort.
Yeah, but like, God, do we want to keep giving shitty people a platform? But then
That's
drama?
true. That's
Because,
true.
like, whatever, like
People
what she
love
did.
her though. If you go to her Instagram, like, people are like, "Queen Monica, bring her back." Like, she's making the season what it is. Like, people are about her.
Listen, do I think Monica was necessary to bring the show to another level? 1000%. I
Totally.
think she deserves acknowledgement, recognition, appreciation for her services this season. She killed it. She made housewife history. That doesn't mean
Totally.
I want her back. And that doesn't mean I want to
She
keep
served her
watching.
purpose. She
She served her
came,
purpose.
she dropped a bomb, she left, and now we're gonna pick up the pieces next season.
100%.
And it's gonna cause, like, more disruption between the actual friends because 'cause they're gonna be like, "We can't trust anybody." So they're
Yeah.
gonna be, like, on their tippy toes with each other, which inevitably is gonna cause drama.
Or I think they actually might get closer.
Mm, yeah,
I think
that
that's a
could be.
possibility. But regardless, I want to watch it.
Yeah,
Whatever way it goes, I want to see
we
it.
wanna watch.
And I don't want Monica involved because I don't think there's anything to repair there. And I
True.
don't think there is a world where those women can just be friends. Like, it's just not going to happen. And
Yeah.
also, one of the reasons I think Monica's a bad person, she did a great job of exposing Jen Shaw. Let's be real about it. Do I think she did it dirty and weird? Sure. But like, Jen Shaw deserves it because Jen Shaw's a dirty woman.
Yeah.
But let's talk about her fucking history. She literally cheated on
Yeah.
husband with her brother-in-law
I know.
and doesn't give a fuck about it.
That was so glossed over the entire season, and only because she came out with it to begin with. She was like, "You don't have any dirt on me because I'm gonna tell you all my dirt to begin with," but I'm like,
Yeah.
"That's a big deal."
Not just
And she's, like, making this whole big fuss about, like, "I need to provide for my daughters, I don't have any money anymore, like, I wanna be a good example for my daughters." I'm like, "Then why did you make those choices? Like, you put yourself in this position."
yeah, 100%.
Her moral compass is just all over the
Yeah.
place.
She was also having an affair for 10 fucking months. So
Yeah.
like not a short little stint. Oh, I slept with him one night, whatever. Like a long time. Also the whole Bermuda thing. I think she's a fraud because you told me you spent all your childhood in Bermuda and it looks like you've never been there before.
She also claimed that she grew up with, like, without 2 pennies to rub together, and, like, then how was your mom bringing you to Bermuda every summer? It just
That's an
doesn't
expensive
add up.
flight. That's an expensive fucking flight. Yeah, the whole thing is she's just that's why I'm not really intrigued.
Yeah.
Okay, any other thoughts on Salt Lake?
I don't know, I'm just curious to see how it's gonna unravel at the reunion. Like, she has a lot more tea to drop, and I think at the reunion, 3 parts, thank you, Andy Cohen, she is gonna drop a lot more bombs. Like, she is gonna introduce other people that were involved. I think she has tea that the other women don't know. I think, like, even that she mentioned, like, Angie K had been, like, reacting, like DMing with reality Vontaes or
That
like
was
laughing at some
wild.
of their content, I think she's gonna expose like maybe some of the other women gave
Wild.
key to the account. I don't know. But we're gonna learn a lot more and I'm here for it.
So excited. Let's get into Beverly Hills. A lot to discuss there. We need to start with Erica and Denise and Infamous Summer. Do you think it was below the belt, the OnlyFans comment?
Yes, but Denise asked for it. You know,
Oh,
like, yes, the golden rule is you don't go for people's children. Sure. But her kid is also what, like 22 now? She's not a kid anymore.
uh-huh.
She's a grown woman with an OnlyFans, and the world knows it. It's not a secret. So, like, was it really that below the belt? Of course, it was not a nice comment, but like Denise was probing her. And
Um,
also, when they go back and they do all the recaps, I'm like, Denise was talking about her husband's penis first. Like, you
I
brought
know.
sexual conversation when your kids were at the next table. So, like, sure, maybe Erica contributed, but like, you opened the gateway for conversations like that.
Yeah.
Poor Denise. I think she's just on in the clouds somewhere. She lives in another reality. She doesn't remember what actually happened. I
Yeah.
think Erica was right. And we literally have the proof and the flashbacks from the episodes that like
Mhm.
Denise did do all the stuff.
The whole Erica comment, I don't know if it was that below the belt in the sense of like when I watched the episode and I watched before like their confrontation happened. And Denise was like, 3 years ago, you brought up threesomes and whatever. And like, I don't have those conversations for every kid. I said to a voice note to a friend, I said, does Denise realize her daughter is on OnlyFans? Like, we're talking about a very sexual family. By the way, no judgment. I have zero
No.
judgment. Zero judgment. But let's call a spade a spade, you know?
Yeah.
So when Erica said it, I go, dude, I was thinking the same shit.
You were
I think
probing her. Like,
the way she posed it is what made it feel below the belt. Who's more profitable is a bit definitely.
also only $7. Denise Richards, like, I know you're not in your prime, but like you were the it girl at one point. Like, boost your price up a little bit.
Yeah, at least like 20. At
Come
least a fucking
on.
20. But I'm sure she probably makes a lot when it's like cheaper. But
True.
she
Whatever.
knows what
That's
she's
besides the point.
I thought Erica was very composed. I know Crystal made a snarky comment like, "Oh, the old Erica is back."
Yeah.
Like that
Okay.
bitch didn't go anywhere. By the way, you should
No.
be lucky because she could have got done way more.
Oh my God.
No, wait,
Way
Erica,
more.
that was
So
tame.
I was actually very proud of Erica, and I think she has turned a new leaf. Like, she's got spunk, she's got sass, she's gonna go below the belt. If you probe her, she's gonna go there. But she wasn't as crazy eyed and loud and as mean as she has been in the past. I
Mhm.
think that she was defending herself in her own way. You know, like she was composed, and I kind of like this version of fighting Erica more. She kind of scared me when she would go so intense. I like this just calm, composed, like drop the bomb Erica fighting style.
Great.
I'm excited to see more of that because
Me
that's what
too.
gets under people's skin.
I love it
Like,
so much.
I know. I love her. She's
So
amazing.
okay, so at that dinner at Crystal's or whatever it was, Taco Tuesday, whatever they were doing.
Also, maybe this is mean. Her setup was so lame. Poor Chris, I'm like,
With,
you have this
with that
beautiful
type of
house.
money,
You have all this money. Like, come on, let's like take it out of the little like tinfoil thing from Ralph's. Like, come on, Crystal.
literally, like it was
Just a moment for the setup.
then the comment that Dorit makes towards Garcelle.
Yeah.
You attacked me. Now, this is a conversation that needs to be treaded lightly with, you know?
Yeah.
We have to be careful how we talk about it. And I don't want to ever disregard the way Garcelle felt.
Totally.
Now, am I on Garcelle's side? Not sure. But I'm definitely not on Dorit's side. That's for sure. But Dorit made a very strong point of this is not the first time we've used the word attack. This
Totally.
is not the first time it's being said in the group. But where I understand Garcelle is that for Dorit used the word attacked when Garcelle literally didn't do anything. Versus when the other women use it, it actually was quite intense. Garcelle's like, I didn't do anything. And you're like villainizing. Like,
Yeah.
you're giving me this such a strong word that I don't deserve.
Totally.
Then Dorit makes it about her. And that's where Dorit goes wrong.
Yeah. So I'll preface it by saying I'm not a Black woman. So I don't and can never understand how
Yeah.
Garcelle feels.
100%.
I think Garcelle just doesn't like Dorit.
Mhm.
And I'm not disregarding that the attack word triggered her. And I'm sure it really upset her, and she said that she was crying about it for 2 days, and,
Mhm.
that's horrible. I would never want anyone to feel that way. But it's dangerous to accuse Dorit of being racist or whatever it is, because that also holds a lot of power and is really
Yeah.
dangerous for Dorit. We know Dorit just lives in her own little world. She's not woke or whatever. She doesn't know these things. And I think where she went wrong is that she should have just come in and been more empathetic instead of going into defense mode, which she clearly was, because it is a strong allegation. So I understand why she would want
Yeah.
to watch her own back,
Mhm.
especially when this is being publicized.
Uh-huh.
But she should have just gone in and been like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that this would hurt you so much. I didn't know that this word shouldn't be used in this context. And I learned and I won't do it again. And I think that's
Yeah.
all that Garcelle really wanted. Like, are they going to be besties? Never. They just don't get along. Garcelle kept on saying, it's not my job to educate you. This is not what I'm here for. I think had it been somebody else, she would have been a little not less hurt by it, but more willing to take it as a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
Whereas Dorit, she just she says it. She's like, she gets under my skin. I don't want anything to do with her. I don't want to teach her.
Also, Dorit lost me when she goes, and I'm Jewish.
Oh my God. I was like, this is apples and oranges.
Dorit, stop.
You're not doing
Stop.
yourself any
Stop.
favors. Stop.
Literally. Fucking
Bravo, bravo,
stop.
bravo. Rewind.
Bravo,
Go
yeah.
back. Take that out.
Can we redo the scene, please?
But
Do
it
not
just
bring that
also she's proving Garcelle's point. How out of touch
Yes.
are you? And I
100%.
love Dorit, and I think she has a good heart. So I don't think that she had any malice in using that word. She's just clueless and she didn't know. And that's a problem in and of itself. Totally.
Uh,
I just don't think there's any resolution with this one. I just don't think they're ever
I
going to
don't think so
vibe.
either.
They
I
never
don't think
have. They've tried to resolve and they're just not each
No.
other's people. And that's okay.
No,
You know,
totally fine. I have no
but that was
qualms about it.
tough to watch because I understand both sides. And I think
Mhm.
both sides is dangerous territory.
Yeah. I also think Dorit loses me in her inability to articulate and validate. Anything else from Beverly Hills this week?
All I have to say is that I love seeing Kim back on the screen because when she just, when they're in the middle of the heat of fight, she's like, well, this has been nice. Thank you for having me. Bye. I'm like,
See ya. Gotta go.
I just love Kim. She just is so clueless in social timing and I'm here for it. I love it.
Okay, next week is going to be very good as well.
Yeah.
I think it's when they go on a trip of sorts. I don't know if it's with the Spain trip yet or another trip, but I'm very
Oh,
excited.
shit always goes down with the trips. Love it. It's just been a very tense season too.
It has. It's been a lot.
So,
been a heavy
oh wait, can we talk about Sutton on the date? Finally, I'm like, please let the girl get a date too. She still has time to mess it up. She'll send him a weird text or something and he'll be out. But I was
Also,
okay.
if I were her, legally speaking, with her divorce and stuff, there was
Yeah.
someone on TikTok being like, no wonder she never wants to get married. It's because then she'll lose her 300K a month.
Totally.
That's probably why she's doing this narrative.
Also, I love the whole, you don't want a billionaire. She's like, you don't know me? Put me in, coach.
Yeah. She's like, I would love a billionaire.
She's like, he's an asshole. I don't care. Give it to me.
By the way, their date was really cute.
It was cute. I was proud of
I liked
her.
it. I really liked it.
I always go back and forth with Sutton. I'm like, she's crazy. She pisses me off, but I still like her at the end of the day because she's so entertaining to watch.
I'm not a Sutton girly. I could do without her.
I like her. I like her
Yeah.
and I like what she brings to the show. I do. And I was proud of her. I felt like a proud mom. I was like, she took the advice from the matchmaker.
Yeah.
She complimented his blazer. I was like, we're learning. We're learning. And I was proud of her.
I do love that for her. But yeah, I'm personally not a Sutton fan. She could leave next season and I wouldn't get blessed by it. But a lot of people love her. There's a reason she's on the show and
I like her.
She stayed on. Yeah.
I like her.
Miami.
My girls.
That Mother's Day brunch. When they go, when Buddy's on that, I go, fuck it, let's just go to the yacht club where they can't follow us. I've never heard anything so Miami in my life. I do that all the time. I love let's just go to the yacht club. We don't have to do it with other people. And I can see them there because obviously, I'm in the Grove all the time. I've been in the Grove literally every day.
Yeah.
And I could just envision them leaving Mr. C's to go to the yacht club. And I'm like,
I love it. And their re-entry was just the best. They like left like heated, like, we're never coming back, like, fuck all of you. And then they come back, they're like, hello, we have
So
our
Miami.
I was like,
After a few coffees.
love it. Love
So
it.
good.
Like so quintessential. I love it.
So good. Let's get into it though. So Anna. So background for the listener. Peanut and I have mutual with Anna and her
Mm-hmm.
daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I've met her daughter a ton. So, it's a little weird for us to be talking
Mm-hmm.
about it because it's like these are
Mm-hmm.
people we know, went to school together, blah, blah, blah. So it's a little uncomfortable to be discussing it. But man, those clips,
I know. I know. I love it. But like we need to talk about Adriana in the mix because
we need to. And
like
Julia.
and
Julia being like,
Julia,
Adriana needs to out herself because Nicole should not be taking the fall for this.
they were
Yeah.
so heated on Nicole. And I'm like, first of all, Nicole is half of their age. She
Yeah.
was not part of that friend group before going on to the show. Like, how the hell is she supposed to know about drama from 10 years ago?
I don't
Like,
think it
I
was
don't blame
calculated.
her.
And I
No,
want
I don't think it was calculated at all.
I mean, Alexa Marisol tend to not love changing their minds and admitting that they're wrong.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I'm intrigued to see how they approach the facts, which is that Adriana invited her. Adriana's one of the tea. Nicole didn't know anything. It was a setup by Adriana.
Mhm.
I wonder how it's going to go down. But obviously, you see that Alexa doesn't like Nicole.
No, yeah.
Anything Nicole does wrong, she's ready to go for her.
She's ready. And
And it-
it makes me sad because I would love it if like Marisol and Alexia and Nicole could all be friends because they are like Cuban Miami. And I want to see them all get along.
But their scavenger hunt, when it was them three on a team, gave me life that I didn't know.
I'm like, I need this. They would be so much stronger if they all got together. They'd be hilarious. Like they bring a whole other dynamic. And I
Agreed.
think the generational difference too, just like, I don't know. I would love to see older Cuban Miami with younger Cuban Miami. And I think if they became friends, it would just be so much better for the show.
Agreed.
But
agreed.
in
And
time, in time. I
I
still have
hope they
hope.
listen to us. Like, you guys will get along, I promise. Just listen to us, and it'll be such good TV. We will love you for it. The fact that Adriana thought it was tea that Alexa's having alleged financial difficulties.
Okay.
Move on.
Like,
Move on.
we didn't even get time to get into like the bomb that Anna was supposed to drop. But like, how weird of it that Adriana would bring not even like come to the party to say like, I learned this information. She's bringing a little spy literally to just come in and drop a bomb. I'm like, that is so weird, girl. Who cares?
It also isn't a bomb. If it
It's
was
not a
another
bomb.
bomb, I would be intrigued by this. It is not a bomb.
First of all, like, who knows if they're even financially struggling? Second of all, who cares? Like, shit is expensive in Miami now. Nobody can afford to buy a house. Like, I don't blame her.
I literally
Like,
could really afford to go to a restaurant. I was at a restaurant in the Design District the other day. They were going to charge me $8 for a Coca-Cola. I said, can someone explain to me? Does it come with diamonds? What do you mean $8 for a Coke? So I can't imagine what the property is like. Are you kidding? We're all struggling. But Anna it was a little weird to me. She seemed scared. She
seemed super scared walking into it. Like she immediately goes to Lisa to try to make friends with Lisa. But which like begs the question, like, why did she agree to come to the lunch anyway?
I think she just wants to be back on the show.
Yeah, like, does she just want to be back on the show? Also, I was cracking up at all the clips of Anna and her daughter. But, like, they've all gone on podcasts, gone on Watch What Happens Live, and said horrible things about each other. So, like, why are we really harping on this one comment? They didn't say that they wanted Marisol dead. They said that she looked like a corpse, which, like, is not a nice thing to say. But how many other not nice things have they all said about each other? So, like,
Literally.
get over it. Like,
I know.
whatever.
I agree with you. I do agree with you. I don't think it was that bad, this situation.
No.
But Anna said in the podcast, I just saw a clip of it. About her daughter was like, why were they so triggered just seeing her name? And she's like, 'cause I know where the bodies are buried. Like, what? Who would want to lie? Because, like, if you're just talking about the financial situation, like, that's the reason you were coming. Like, I'm not that impressed by it.
Yeah, no.
And it was kind of a flop. Like, it flopped. It really
It
did.
totally flopped.
And if they edited her out, there's a reason they edited her out. Because it wasn't good TV.
Yeah,
Like, there's a reason. There's a reason.
True.
If it was really good TV, they would have shown it to us.
True.
Those are the facts.
It just, yeah. And when there's like 20 fights going on at the same time, it's just like too overwhelming to watch even. I'm like, next scene.
Producers need a raise when they start counting amount of times
exits.
people out. I was like, thank
The
you.
poet, the poet.
The
How he wrote the poem at
But
the
like,
end.
he got such good promo because they put Biscayne through it
Biscuit boy. I want
every
to hire
chance
him
we got.
now.
No, we need him. We fucking need him.
He's famous
Also,
now.
I love Lisa, but I was really annoyed at her for coming for Gertie when she knows what Gertie's going through the next day. That was unnecessary.
Let's take a moment for Gertie to even come to the lunch the day before her surgery. Like,
She's getting that
I,
check. She's working.
yeah, like good for her. Good for her.
Mhm.
And like, of course she stormed out. I would too. Like, she doesn't need to be stressed the day before such
No,
an important surgery. Like, get out of there,
she did
girl.
her family. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
proud of her for that. And Lisa was like on one because then she came for Julia. I'd be like, you have 3 different baby daddies.
I know. But you know what? I like this version of Lisa because before Lisa has been like, it's just, I don't, okay, I'll take that back. I don't know if I like it. It's a new version and
It's
I'm
entertaining.
excited to see where it goes because before Invites, Lisa had kind of taken the back seat and she
Yeah.
wants to keep the peace. She doesn't want to offend anybody. And I think now with the whole Lenny thing and everything, like she's finding her voice and
Yeah.
she's going into like mama bear mode and she's like, I need to protect myself. Like I need to
Mhm.
defend myself. And I think she's gonna get a lot more feisty, and I'm here for it. Like, I know that that girl's got grit in her, and I don't think we've seen it yet, and I'm
It's
excited for her to unleash it because it's coming out, and I
it's
think that
gonna
she's gonna fight nasty, and I'm here
yeah,
for it.
I'm super here for it. But I don't want her coming for Gertie. Gertie's going through a tough time.
No, not
Leave Gertie
Gertie.
alone. Like,
Yeah, no, no,
literally
no.
leave Gertie alone.
No.
Which, speaking of the Gertie scene of her in the hospital preparing for her surgery, goes to one of my top Bravo moments. How
Heartbreaking.
powerful it was. Like, that is such powerful TV. Like,
Is this the first time we've seen a housewife go through breast cancer? I think it is.
I think it's the first time we've like been on a journey with them.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're there in the hospital with her as she's
Yeah.
sleeping. We're seeing what the family looks like. See what it's like to come home. Like, I was sobbing. I
It
mean,
was
the
so
nurse
emotional.
being like, I went through this a few years ago. I literally could cry just talking about it.
I know.
I hope Gertie realizes what she's doing, that there are so many women who are being helped by it, who feel seen by it, or who will be helped by it. Because 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road, whatever, that scene will always be on the internet for women to understand what they're about to walk into and to feel it and to see it and to try to
Totally.
understand it and the visibility that it brings. As someone who I don't have breast cancer that runs in my family, I have very limited experiences with it. I learned a lot. They're
Me
talking
too.
medical too. Like, you see the talk with the doctor and she's talking about how it works. And I'm like, oh, I never knew that. It was
Totally.
so educational. It was powerful. It was emotional. Her and her husband is
I
my
know
favorite
the
husband of all time.
cutest.
Like,
He's so cute. I
yeah.
love Russell. I also think, like, I am so proud of Gertie for being so vulnerable and, like, open and showing us all this because when she first came on, she was like this power woman. She was like, "No one's gonna break me," like, super just, like, strong, didn't like being vulnerable, and I think that it's important for us to see, like, something as horrible as it is, like, seeing something like this happen to such a strong
Yeah.
character, it's like it's just a whole other side of her, and it's like she just has this grit, she's like, "I'm gonna get through this," and I think that that is so powerful to watch. I think it's just so beautiful how we're seeing a whole other side of her and, like,
I
seeing, like,
agree.
a resilient side of her and a vulnerable side of her, and that it's okay to be vulnerable and it's okay to be scared, like, it's a fucking scary thing.
Mhm.
And, like, we don't have to be so strong all the time. I'm so glad that she decided to share this with us. Gertie, if you're listening, thank you because
Love you.
you're doing such a service for so many women that are going through this and, like,
Yeah.
showing people that, like, you can still be strong and you can still be a badass even when you're at, like, your lowest low.
You can still do glam. You can still look hot. You can
Yes.
still bring humor. You can be
Like,
emotional. You can lean.
she's, like, glammed up at this, like, rowdy brunch the day before her surgery. I'm like, just because you have cancer doesn't mean that, like, you're away from the world. Like,
Yeah.
you continue to live your life, you continue to show up, and, like, you beat it, and
Yeah.
I'm so proud of her.
Same. It
Thank you,
was great.
Gertie.
Yeah. Thank you, Gertie. Big thank you to Gertie. And then Julia and Adriana. Julia being like, girl, what was that? And Adriana storming out. I love this part of like the art when it's like these two best friends that like are up each other's asshole and like defend each other, even though you're
Mm,
like, you shouldn't defend for this. You're being way too loyal. when they actually start to see the light and call each other
Mhm.
out and you see that rip.
And we're
There
seeing
was
that with
some
Alexia and Marisol
I know.
too. They're starting to get more tension. I think a fight is brewing there. A fight is brewing between Julia and Adriana. I like that Julia is opening herself up to more of the women now. Like Adriana just like had her in her own little bubble and was like, you're my girl and like you
Yeah.
can kind of be fake friends with them. But now she's like, wait, I actually like these women.
No, I
And
love
I'm just like, I'm not an Adriana girl. I don't think that she brings much to the show. No, she just stirs the pot so much, but not in an interesting way. Like bringing
Yeah,
Anna
I
for these
agree with you.
finances, I'm like, who cares? Who cares?
Who cares? Who cares?
Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I would
I
like
could
to see Julia branch
probably
out.
yeah, I could probably do without Adriana, but I also don't mind her on the show. Like, she's not one that I'm like, I need her off my screen. I wanted her off my screen last season. Now I'm like fine with her.
She
Now I want
just,
Larsa off my screen. I
oh,
know. I know. I know. And it's only gonna get fucking worse.
I just can't. She's so self involved. So self involved, but she's needed for the show. And as much,
I
I love to hate her. I love to hate her.
I don't disagree with you. But I'm mad at her right now, and I know I'm gonna be mad at her for the rest of the season. So I'm like trying to figure out how to
I know. Forget the
okay. And
morally corrupt Faye Resnick, the morally corrupt Larsa Pippen.
Pippen, literally. Although she needs to change her last name ASAP. Not
I
accept the
know.
Pippen last name and dating a Jordan. Um, okay, anything else from Miami?
I think that's it.
Okay, I'm just gonna discuss Southern Charm very briefly. The finale was amazing. I was slightly disappointed by the ending. I was a bit like, wait, why did we leave the fight for the last 1 minute and 30 seconds of the show? But the reunion is gonna be phenomenal. I think they performed great. I'm over JT. That's someone I need on my screen. He is fucking annoying. And Austin hit the nail on the head by realizing that JT is just jealous. Like he just wishes he was Austin. So, and then like Taylor needs therapy. Very proud of Olivia. The whole party was really fun to watch. But the reunion is really where we're going to see everyone thrive. And I'm ready for it. I don't know if I had that many thoughts because it's like the same old shit. Shep and Taylor. Are they going to get back together? Shep's trying to figure out the boundaries. Olivia and Austin fighting. Olivia fucking hates him, but also probably still wants to canoodle. And then Austin and JT bitching at each other. Like it was the same shit. Entertaining, but not much to discuss. The reunion is where I'm going to need probably like 15 minutes worth of podcast time to break it down. But yeah, it was great. Great season. Very proud of them. I also love seeing the Southern hospitality people on Southern Charm. That is my favorite part of the crossover. I live for it. It's like Vanderpump and Beverly Hills. Like when all that stuff crosses over, dream. Okay, that concludes this episode of the podcast. Dina, you've been amazing. Loved
Thank you
having you
so
on.
much for having me. This has been so fun.
Come back whenever you please. So, yeah, thank you guys for joining me. I cannot wait to break down next week's episode as well. It's reunion season, so we're going to get all of our reunions in, which I'm so looking forward to. Reunions are my everything. So,
Love.
that was this week's episode of That's My Opinion Pod. I will see you guys next week.